Hello Libras, welcome to your mid-May 2017 tarot reading. So I have two main messages for you. The first message here is they really want you to take the next 2 weeks to take a look back at the people who are actually around for you. Okay, so the people who are actually giving you a lot of emotional support, who have provided a lot of love over the years, and who have provided, like a sounding board for you to bounce ideas off of. So I feel this overwhelming sense of nostalgia for the people that you really care about and, putting things into perspective for you so that you understand who's really on your side and that you understand who's really there to promote your greater good, to want you to advance, to want you to elevate, to want you to become a better person. So I feel like that sense of nostalgia, that sense of like, wow, this person really cared about me, or that person, they say they care, but it's all on the surface. Deep down, they don't really care about me. They have their own personal agenda. So deciphering, differentiating between the people that really, really wanted you to become a better person, and they might have done things to help you grow, versus the people that talk about, what they wanted from you, but they don't really follow up with concrete actions to help you realize your potential or to help you realize your dreams. I feel like in the past, I feel like you guys are very, generally, you're very conflict avoidant, okay? You're very articulate. You can communicate really well. You can argue, your point of view. But when things get a little bit too heated, I feel that you tend to just kind of slink away. So I feel like you're very conflict avoidant. And you give people, the benefit of the doubt, because generally you feel that, oh, if it escalates into tension, into conflict too fast, it's easier for me to just cut them out rather than dealing with that situation. So I feel like there's a process here where you are looking back and you're looking at situations from the past in a realistic like hindsight, pretty much, where you might have realized this person from your past that you might not have liked, mainly because they're very rigid, they're very strict. For some of you, they're so articulate and they're so smart that you couldn't argue with them, right? And I also feel that they're, in your eyes, they lack creativity, they lack imagination because they're so rigid. And you also feel that, you know what, other people don't like them either, so there has to be something wrong with them. Well, the thing is, the person that you're dealing with is operating from a place of very, very intense, high wisdom. They do, given the circumstances, they do whatever they believe is right. And they don't care what other people think because they know deep down within themselves that they're doing the right thing. So they're not looking at their environment for validation, right? I feel like you might have dealt with an earth sign, so a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn that behaved this way. They're so sure of what they're doing, and I feel that they're on the right track. That's why they're so sure. And so I feel like you might have misjudged the situation, or you might have taken, you might have like followed along the crowd. If the crowd disagrees with this person, I feel like you went with it without digging deeper into this person's motives, okay? Because their motives are very selfless. Their motives are not in alignment with other people's motives, because other people's motives, the ones that you might have bandwagon with, they didn't have pure motives. Does that make sense? So I feel like there's this earth sign that is offering you kind of like the voice of reason in a very chaotic environment, right? And then we have other people kind of like branching off, breaking away, and kind of like dissent is what I'm seeing. And people are just like, no, I'm going to do this because it makes me feel good. And then you're just like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound bad. So you might have followed that route. And then there's other people saying, I'm going to do this because financially it's going to benefit me. So it's like very little work for a lot of financial gain. So I would say some type of risky venture. And so you might have been like, you know what, that sounds good. So you might have gone on that route. So the point here is, I feel like for the next 2 weeks, you're going to start to see the consequences of these actions, okay? And these things are coming through as a reminder for you to really understand that you need to pick a route that is uniquely for you. Don't follow what other people are doing. Trailblaze, okay? Create that own path for yourself, because they're doing what is appropriate for them, which is not appropriate for you. You are a really smart sign, and you see the pros and cons, of every situation. And a lot of the times too, and this is a weird saying for an air sign, but I feel that once you have an emotional connection with a person, you might blindly follow them even though it's not in your best interest, okay? So I feel like detaching your head from your heart and making rational decisions when it involves you and your future and your character development and all these things that are separate from another person, that's when the hard decisions come in. That's when, if you don't have that strong sense of self, you're going to fluctuate. You're going to bend with the wind, and you're going to be sidelined away, or, sidetracked away from your true path. So I feel like Libras, the next 2 weeks is about introspection, is about making those difficult decisions about what's right and what's wrong, what you need to do as a person versus what other people want you to do, which might or might not be in your best interest. But figuring out at the baseline level what you need to do for yourself to be happy, and what you need to do on the moral basis, like what you need to do morally, what is the right moral thing to do. That's really important, because I feel like you're pulled in multiple directions. And I feel that, once again, the harder decisions to make are the ones that we don't want to make. It requires a lot of work, requires a lot of effort, requires getting our hands dirty. And so we don't want to make these things, these decisions. We don't want to, have to go down that route. But I feel like if you've been avoiding it, it might be a lot worse in your head than it is in reality. And so they're saying here, stand up for that moral path and you will be fine, okay? So I feel like I might, make it out to be something very nonchalant, but I feel that it's a little bit deeper than that. And I feel like for those of you where this, for those of you who might experience this on a very deep level, and I feel like it's a series of decisions that you have made that might not be following your true path. And so the consequences seem like it's very backed up, right? Like, seems like it's just one after the other. And so you're sifting it through, you're trying to make sense of it, and you're trying to filter it out so that you can escape this cycle. That's what it feels like to me. So some of you, this decision might be very minor. Others of you, it's like a pattern, a recurring thing. Do the right thing, okay? I do wish you all the best. I'll be back for the next month's reading, okay? Take care of yourself, Libras. Bye-bye.